There's nothing here but silence. Your voice calls on the wind. It tells me to be quiet.
Hi guys, this is Chauncey from Good Music to Know. Today we are joined by Orchid Orchestra, a Vancouver-based musical collective blending modern pop, hip-hop, and choral influences into something truly unique. Orchid Orchestra crafts emotionally rich soundscapes that explore love, loss, and everything in between. Today we'll be discovering their latest EP, Be Lucky. It's packed with raw emotion and storytelling that definitely hits deep. So we are so happy to have you on the show today.
Yeah, thanks. Just me today. There's 4 of us, but just me here today. So
yeah, cool. So one question I like to ask is the name. What is the story behind Orchid Orchestra? Just curious.
Yeah, that's a very vulnerable question to ask first off, actually.
Oh, no, sorry.
No, it's fine. I started seeing a therapist 3 years ago. I was living up in a fire tower in complete isolation for 3.5 months. And so I'm working. And so I thought I might need some support. And so my friend kind of recommended a therapist and, quickly realized there was a lot more to uncover rather than just being in isolation. Something that we had talked about a lot was when I was younger, I was bullied a lot for being quite more feminine than the regular masculine ideal or whatever. So we were talking about that, and my therapist, she works with parts therapy, IFS. We were talking about basically giving the repressed feminine part of me a name. And so I named her Orchid. And the way I see her is just this young teenage girl that was just pushed aside in order for me to be whatever men expected me to be. This band is sort of for that part of me, for Orchid, because it's the place where I can be so emotional and expressive and all of those things that I wanted to be as a teenager. And then the orchestra part that's an aspiration. One day I would like our band to play with a full orchestra. And so it's sort of an aspirational thing. Yeah. So.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's a really beautiful meaning.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Course.
So diving into Be Lucky. So Be Lucky feels like an intentional title.
Mm.
What does luck mean to you? And how does it tie into the themes of the EP?
We're going right into the most vulnerable question. So the second, that's great. The reason I named this, I'm actually not going to really answer your question, but I'm going to answer your question. Be lucky is something that my grandpa would say to me all the time. He passed away last year, and he was the biggest fan of my creative work. Anytime I would talk to him, he lives in England. Anytime I would talk to him over video, he'd want me to play one of my new songs for him, and he would love it so much. And I wrote a novel a few years ago, and he was the one who inspired me to do that. He was just he was always there for me along every step of the way in my creative journey. And so I named this EP Be Lucky just because I wanted to honor him, and I thought it was such a sweet thing that he would say to me. And so that's what it comes from. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And then if you had to pick a favorite song on the EP, maybe you could, what would be your favorite? Maybe you could explain.
I think the song Nothing is my favorite. Well, so I wrote that when I was living in that fire tower I was talking about. I was in complete isolation doing this work, but I wrote the song just before I was coming back, and I was really anxious about coming back to society and what it was going to look like. Although the isolation was really tough, there was a lot about it that I really enjoyed. And so I wrote it, but it was this really slow, sweet song. And our bass player, Anthony, he's also our producer for our songs. And he really helped turn, and another guy, I've been working on another guy with the production too. And they both really helped turn this into this disco pop song that was something that I always wanted to make, but I had no idea how to make my songs into something that's really fun and dancey, even though maybe the lyrics aren't about that. And so, yeah, I just really like that. And then we kind of Brienne, who sings alongside me, she went pretty hard on this song in the bridge, harder than she'd ever gone with her vocals in our songs. And that was really cool. And we just have a lot of fun playing it. Our friend made a choreographed dance routine for the song that we do on stage. And I don't know, it's just kind of wild and fun. And so, yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that initially drew me into the EP or Be Lucky is that it explores, joys, highs, the lows, vulnerabilities, everything in between. And I really, really loved it. It's funny because the message behind it is so raw. but yet it's packaged in this, like you said, like upbeat.
Yeah.
You saw like happy sound, which I absolutely love the contrast. Were there specific moments or experiences that inspired these songs? So I know you mentioned the firehouse, right?
Fire Tower, yeah.
Sorry, was there anything else maybe?
So definitely, yes. Around this time last year, January or so. So this band's been going for like 2.5 years. I've done a lot of music stuff before this, but this is the first time I've really like taken it very seriously, I think. That's not true, but I don't know. I took a long break and I'm coming back to it. Anyways, I basically apply for like any festival submission I see, any like showcase opportunity, any grant, anything I see, I'm like applying for. And last year around this time, I remember just getting like tons and tons of rejection emails.
Yeah.
I think like, I don't know if this is an exaggeration. I'm pretty sure I got like 50 rejection emails, like all in the same amount of time, and some other stuff in my life, a lot of rejection. And I was feeling like so down and so like, what's the point? Like I'm putting so much work and money into this music and nothing's happening. And it was just like, I was really like in a pretty low place. So I wrote that song Gold for myself. It was like a reminder, everything's okay. Like there's still hope no matter what, you know, like even if the worst things happen, like there's still hope, there's still hope. And also it was about like, what do I want? What I actually want, right? Like if I get all of these fans and whatever things that I'm thinking of, am I going to be happy? Or is that just like this idea that I have? And then sort of reminding myself like right here, right now, there's still some really good stuff going on. And no matter what, you're okay. So that's that one for sure. Yeah.
I definitely, this is not really a question, but I definitely got that feeling listening to, it's no Grammys, right?
Gold, but no Grammys is similar.
Yeah, no, Gold. Yeah, I love Gold as well, but no Grammys. I also had that feeling that everything's going to be okay in the end. You're going to work it out. There was a particular line that it said, changing the message that says I failed. Absolutely love that lyric. Yeah. And I love how you describe, like, you know, am I going to be perceived as an outcast? Am I going to be enough? And then halfway through the song, it's like shift the narrative to be something more positive. You are capable. You can do this. And I don't know. I really loved the message behind the Grammys. I thought it was really beautiful.
That one comes more from no Grammys, especially like my meditation practice. I lived at a Vipassana meditation center for a couple of years, and then I've been practicing for 8 years. I don't actually remember when I wrote that song, but that song is really about like, just no matter what, I can find happiness inside. Like it's like and everything I want is actually inside, not outside. And I don't remember when I wrote that actually, but I like it too. I like the message.
It's super uplifting. And then so I was doing some research on you guys as a collective. So one of the questions I had was, how does your background in an R&B hip hop choir influence like some of the vocal arrangements on this EP?
So Brienne, I'll talk about her first actually. So Brienne, who sings with us, she that's her favorite style of music. Like when she writes her own songs, she hasn't yet written anything for this band. She's working on some right now, but when she writes her own songs, it's like very R&B. That's the kind of stuff she really likes. And so she kind of just sings in like a naturally kind of cool like R&B way. In terms of like the hip hop side of things too, like I started out as a rapper when I was 18. I'm 32 now. And so because I was too afraid to sing, but I loved hip hop artists so much, and so I tried that, and that's what I did in my first few bands. And so hip hop has always been a huge influence for me. But yeah, it was cool to be in this choir because hip hop music and R&B music can have these like choral elements. Is so awesome. And for me, I love choir. I would love to have like a full choir with every show that we do. I can't afford it, but yeah, like actually, like when we do have big shows, our friends from our choir do come and sing with us on a few songs. And our keyboard player is like an incredible composition. Like he can compose music really well. So he writes all the choral arrangements. And it's so influenced our songs. Like that community, the choir community that we sing in, all of those people come to our shows. They collaborate with us. Like it's not just our four of us. We invite like our last music video director, she's from our choir. We have a comedian who writes for us sometimes. She's from our choir. Like it's like and we have a saxophone player now. She's from it's like it's our community, and we bring it into the band as much as possible. Yeah.
That's super cool. And then just curious, were there any like unexpected challenges when you guys were working on the CP together, or did everything kind of fall into place rather smoothly?
It was pretty smooth, to be honest. I spent a lot of time working on these songs beforehand. I'd never done that before, but I took some production lessons with my choir director, actually, and he helped me turn these songs into kind of more upbeat pop songs. And so having that was like really, it made things really easy. We went into the studio. Our producer was like, yeah, I know what you want. Like, let's just go for it. Well, I guess one challenge was that Jared is the guy I worked with initially on these songs. Jared, he makes incredible like EDM pop music, like really into that side of things. Anthony was the producer we went to the studio with. He's like in like a fuzz noise rock band. He loves rock and roll. Like he loves all kind of music and he produces all kinds of music, but that's more like he's more into like the full band. And so there was a bit of a clash where it was like I had this pop music bringing in and I was like, I want this, like I want auto tune and like, you know, pop. He's like, well, we have an EP that we did before that's like not like that. So we need to kind of keep the thread going with what Orchid Orchestra is. And I mean, it wasn't really a challenge because it ended up being really awesome. But I think at first there was like, what do we do here? Yeah, but we figured it out and it became like a mixture of both of them, which is so awesome.
Do you feel like your sound shifted a bit with this EP compared to your last one?
Yeah, I mean, one thing is that Anthony, he played bass and drums on the second EP. On the first one, we had a different drummer and bassist. And Anthony just like, he's so talented in like a multitude of ways. And he put so much time into those recordings. He recorded other guitar stuff too. He put way more time than we even paid him for. So I think our sound got bigger, richer, like more us because of him spending so much time on it. And yeah.
What emotions or messages do you hope listeners take away from this project?
I really hope that even just the songs make people feel more. I don't think there's like a certain thing they have to feel, but like I think that our society is pretty dissociated from feelings and I think that's not really okay. And so like something I really like about art, like the shows that we do, is that people often feel a lot, like, and I feel a lot and the band feels a lot and the audience feels a lot and we just feel a lot together, and it can be crying, it can be laughing, it can be whatever. And it's just so cool. And I think like needs to happen more. I don't know. I don't have specific feelings, just feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so keeping in track with the theme of luck, do you as a group, do you have any like certain rituals or like lucky charms or things that you do maybe like so before performances or like maybe even before you start recording?
First, yes, we have like we do it before every rehearsal, we do it before every show. We just basically like go around and check in with everyone, how everyone is feeling in that moment, and then ask a random icebreaker question just to like get to know people better. I don't remember what the last one we did was, but yeah, or like, yeah, when we were just on tour and like we asked. And we try to get other bands involved too when they're with us. So we go like this big check-in and how are you doing? And then like we were asking like, what is the instrument that makes you feel the most? And so everyone kind of answers. And so we always do that, always random questions. And so there's that. There's also like, so Isabella, our guitarist, I don't know, she has sort of some kind of spiritual connection to something. I don't really know. Like she has a strong intuition for things. And I see Isabella as sort of like our lucky charm. She's always so positive and she always like sees hope in things that like I don't see. I don't know. She like reads the signs of the universe and she's like, yeah, our band's going to do well. And it's really cool. I like that. Yeah.
What an amazing person to have in the band. Like,
awesome.
Every band needs one. Yeah.
I know.
I always like to ask this question, but is there a particular, and it doesn't have to just be from, I mean, the Be Lucky EP, but is there a particular lyric that holds a special meaning, like a meaning to you?
There's a song on our first EP called Pink Mountains, and I've gone through like a really horrible breakup and then was just recovering after the breakup. And even just like when I start singing that song, there's something really special there. Like my sleep is now returning after grief that shut me down. And I just like reflect on that time of my life where I was like in such devastation and I was having such trouble sleeping and then just to notice like my sleep getting better and notice like, okay, like I'm okay. And I always like reminders that things can change, right? Because like I can be in like a down place and it's really important for me to like gather evidence that things can change. And so that's one little line that I sing. I don't know, there's a lot of my songs that when I sing them, I forget what I had written and then I sing it and I'm like, oh, so sweet, or I feel something different, or yeah, it's pretty cool.
Do you ever find it hard to like kind of tap into that vulnerable place and like share these emotions with the world or with other people?
Not often. We just did like a 3-day tour, short tour, right? But it was like back to back to back. And the third show was an afternoon show in a coffee shop. We were all tired. We've been traveling so much. And I was pretty checked out to start. I was singing and I was like, like, I'm not even here. And we ended up changing the set list like in the show, because I was like, I need to do something that brings me back into the moment. So we played nothing because it's quite fun and it brought me back in. But other times that are hard are when like we're playing a show. Fortunately, this doesn't happen that often. But when we first starting, it did, like when people are just talking. And it's like, and I'm like, I don't even know, like my words are so vulnerable, but it's like, no one's listening. Like there's no point of me even opening myself up right now. So yeah, it doesn't happen so much. We don't play that many shows because it is a lot. So I tried as much to be open. I shut down within shows sometimes too. I don't know, something could happen. Like, I don't know, like someone might, I don't know, something. Yeah. It's like, it's a fluctuation, but I try to be open much as possible.
Will Be Lucky be a part of a larger album, or will Be Lucky just be Lucky and that's it?
I think it'll be its own thing. I don't think with those songs we need to do anything more to them. I think they're wonderful, but I want to make an album this year as long as I can get the money. It's pretty expensive to record an album. But I think that will happen, and we might like take a couple of the songs from the first EP and like redo them, because with those ones we didn't really have enough knowledge of ourselves or enough time to really go into them. But yeah, we have like a ton of other songs too that we want to work on. So Be Lucky is its own little package.
Anything else that you guys have in the works? So I know that the album, do you have any upcoming shows or?
Yeah, I mean, one is like we'll have a music video for Gold coming out. Yeah, and it was amazing. Like it's one of our friends from choir who directed it. Like I mentioned, didn't really know her, and I was like, hey, like ever interested in doing a music video for us? And the next week she came back to choir with like a script, and like she's like, this is what we're doing. It was so cool, and like she really like went so hard with the production of it. We did these really long shoot days. She organized so much of it. Most people did it for free because we don't have enough money to pay for like a full music video. And it was truly amazing. I'm so excited to see what came of it. So that'll come out sometime in the spring. And yeah, we don't have too much planned yet. I'm also doing a master's of counseling right now, and I'm graduating in May. And so my dates are a little up in the air right now. So we're trying not to book too much. We do have a big show in Vancouver on April 18th. It's like this Roots Dwellers showcase. It's this showcase that I've been trying to get on for like 2.5 years. And so
congrats.
That feels really cool. Yeah. So that'll be fun. And then we'll probably go on like a proper tour in the summer, I think, and hopefully play some music festivals and I don't know, something like that. I do like eventually want to come to Europe and play over there. I'd say Vancouver is really cool though. Like Vancouver, people do come and support the local bands, and especially like people come watch our shows. It is like rapt attention with us and connected and locked in. So
with this EP picking up momentum, just curious, are there any dream collabs that you guys have? Like
you're talking about like dream, like because I could think of some that could happen, but I could think of some that
let's go big.
Let's go. Yeah. Okay. Great. I mean, Gracie Abrams is my favorite musician. I know. And I think like I saw her perform last year and I was like, we're the same. Like we perform the same. Like she's got so much energy on stage. So that would be amazing. I'd love to like sing with her and have to join our band for a bit. Tiny Habits, you know them? They're like the three-piece group, and it's like so many beautiful harmonies, and working with them on our harmonies would be cool. Like having them like mentor us a bit on kind of how to do that. And so those, I mean, okay, now I'm going even bigger. I think Kendrick Lamar is one of the most incredible artists of all time. And I think if he did a verse on one of our songs, I wouldn't be upset with that. So.
You're like, oh, I would take it, I guess.
I would take it, yeah.
Yeah, he's an amazing, but it's not only just the lyrics.
Exactly.
His visuals are also like, his vision is insane. Like he's such a creative. If you ever want to quit rapping, please go into directing film or something.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he's got it. Yeah.
So those are your big three. Anyone else?
That feels good. Like, I mean, I love Billie Eilish too, and I think like going on tour with Billie Eilish would be amazing, and becoming friends with her and her brother would be like the coolest thing ever. And then maybe having her brother produce some of our songs, I wouldn't be mad at that either. So yeah,
she's one of the few artists where she almost sounds better live than.
Yeah.
I have such appreciation because so many artists nowadays, like you hear them live and you're just kind of like, oh my goodness. But her voice live, when she performed the Barbie song, was that at the Grammy or something? I don't remember, but she performed. It was the most beautiful thing I heard. Like, it was stunning, and her brother was playing the piano. Oh my God, I loved it. Yeah. Cool. So I guess I only have one last question, and that's if you have any, final words that you want to leave the listeners or fans of Orchid Orchestra with.
I was thinking this recently, like, I just really so much appreciate anyone who like is expressing interest in our band. We get like comments on our songs or something, or like messages. I don't have time to respond to everything, and as you can see, it took me 2 months to get this interview sorted, so like it takes me time with things because I've got so much going on. But I'm so grateful when I see these things, like when I post on something and I don't get a response, like I don't see the other side of things, so if someone posts on my thing, like on my side, I'm like, that's so sweet, maybe I don't respond, I don't have time or something, or forget, but I do feel it every single time. And so just like so grateful. I'm grateful for you for reaching out to us. Like, this kind of stuff means so much to me, and kind of like helps my heart, and like helps me like remember like, okay, like this band is worth putting the time. People like it. It's okay, Yeah. So yeah, just feel grateful for everyone who supports us.
There's nothing here but silence. Your voice calls on the wind. It tells me to be quiet.